Morning sunlight is the cheapest brain hack you can do, and it's also the most ignored. Your eyes aren't just for seeing. In the retina, special cells called melanopsin gang in on the light signal. They help set your circadian rhythm, basically telling your brain, day started, time to switch gears. And when that timing is off, your sleep, mood, and focus can feel weird, like you're running your day on a blurry GPS. Now here's the plain English mechanism. Early light hits those melanopsin pathways, and your brain uses that to calibrate melatonin and alertness signals. You don't need a complicated stack of supplements. You need the right timing. Morning is the anchor. That's why it hits harder early than it does later. So how long should you actually do it? Most people do best with a short outdoor window in the morning. Think minutes, not hours. But here's the catch. The cloudy winter morning in your area isn't the same brightness as a bright summer morning. If it's bright out, you can go shorter. If it's dim or overcast, you may need longer. Your goal is simple. Get enough strong morning light to feel naturally awake without forcing yourself. But here's the part nobody talks about. What you do after you walk back inside can make or break the effect. Ready for the do this next move that protects your rhythm all day? Which one are you going to try first? Drop it below. If your brain like this, hit subscribe. More brain hacks every week. The evidence behind morning light. What 60 seconds can do. Morning light isn't just nice to have. It's one of the main signals your brain uses to set your circadian rhythm. The internal clock that dials in sleep timing, alertness, and even a bunch of hormone patterns. The key players are retinal ganglion cells that contain melanopsin. These cells respond to bright light, especially the blue-leaning part of the spectrum, and they send timing info to the brain through pathways that include the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Basically, your eye is not only seeing the world, you're also broadcasting a daily schedule to your nervous system. Here's the plain English mechanism. When you get morning light hitting your eyes, those melanopsin pathways tell your brain, day is starting. That signal helps shift your circadian clock earlier and keeps it anchored. So later at night, your system is more likely to ramp down at the right time. That's why the same person can feel wildly different when the morning light is missing. Your clock can drift, and then bedtime, wake time, and energy feel off. Your brain gets wired to your light environment. You're not just tired because you feel tired. You're tired because your timing system is confused. So what about the turns out 60 seconds part? The deal is, you're not trying to outpower the sun. You're trying to give your retina a strong daytime cue early in the day. Andrew Huberman has talked about practical exposure, short, consistent morning light, because the timing of the light matters a lot. And the practical takeaway is simple. Get outside soon after you wake up. Look around naturally, not staring at the sky like you're trying to win a staring contest. And give yourself enough time for your eyes to register bright outdoor light. If it's cloudy, you often need longer to reach a comparable effect outdoors. If it's bright and clear, you might get there faster. The season changes how bright the outdoor light feels, so you adjust your minutes, not your intention. Try this today. Step outside in the morning and aim for about a minute or two to start. Then bump it up if it doesn't feel like it's hitting your eyes with decent brightness. In winter, when the sun is weaker and the sky can be dimmer, you might need more time outdoors to get the same day as starting cue. In summer, you may feel the benefits sooner because the light is stronger and the day is longer. Your circadian system loves that early anchor. If you can't go outside, a bright window setup can help, but outdoor light is usually the big hitter because it's much brighter overall. Bottom line, consistency beats perfection. Every morning you do it, you're reinforcing the message your brain needs to stay on schedule. But here's the part nobody talks about. The timing window matters. Morning light works best when it's early enough to set the day, not late enough that it turns into a shift later signal. And that's where people accidentally sabotage themselves by waiting too long or getting most of their bright light at night. Which one are you going to try first? Going outside right after you wake up or adjusting your window earlier this week? If your brain like this, hit subscribe. More brain hacks every week. How to do the cheapest brain hack safely in real life. Morning sunlight isn't just nice to have. It's one of the strongest cues your brain gets for setting your circadian rhythm. and that timing is wired straight into your retinal light system. Here's the mechanism in plain English. Your retina has more than just rod and cone photoreceptors for vision. You've also got melanopsin-containing retinal ganglion cells, and they're especially sensitive to light patterns that help regulate your body clock. So you're not just seeing the morning, you're syncing your internal clock. So how do you do the cheapest brain hacks safely in real life? The basic Huberman-style idea is simple. Get outdoor light soon after you wake up, ideally before you've fully ramped up your day. You don't need gadgets. You don't need to stare at the sun. You step outside, let the light hit your eyes naturally, and you keep it comfortable, like walking to get coffee, taking a short stroll, or standing by a window outside while you check your phone. If you wear sunglasses, go lightly on them at first outdoors, but keep safety first. If it's glaring, don't force it. Your goal is exposure, not squinting yourself into a headache. Now, let's talk how many minutes, because this is where people either overdo it or underdo it. The honest answer is you dial it based on brightness and conditions, not a universal magic timer. On a bright, clear morning, you'll usually need less time than on a cloudy day, and winter mornings can feel dim even when the sun is up, so you may need longer on those days. A practical approach: start with a short window and pay attention to your body clock cues later in the day. If you feel more awake and your sleep pressure feels more aligned that night, you're probably in a good zone. If you don't notice much difference, increase gradually. Think small increments, not doubling overnight. Safety matters, though, and there are real limits. Never stare directly at the sun. If you're high in glare, use partial eye exposure. Look around normally, keep moving, don't lock your gaze. If you have light-sensitive conditions, migraine triggers, or you're on meds that make you photosensitive, take it slower and consider asking a clinician for personalized guidance. Also, if you can't get outdoors right away, window light is still better than total darkness, but it may be weaker depending on glass and angle. And if you're doing this to shift your schedule, be consistent for a few days. Your circadian system likes repeated timing cues more than random big days. But here's the part nobody talks about. Timing isn't the only lever. Contrast and darkness matter too. Morning light anchors you, while evening darkness helps you keep the cue from getting muddled. So your safe protocol is two-step thinking. Morning for anchoring, night for protecting. Which setup are you going to try first? Quick outdoor walk, balcony light while you drink coffee, or stepping outside right after you wake up? Drop it below. If your brain like this, hit subscribe. More brain hacks every week. Timing, distance, and duration. The 60-second protocol. Morning sunlight hits your brain faster than almost anything else. That's not hype, it's circadian biology. Your eyes have melanopsin-containing cells in the retina, and those act like a light sensor tuned for its daytime now. When those cells get the right kind of light, your brain starts shifting gears. Alertness up, sleepiness down, and your internal clock gets nudged toward morning instead of drifting. Now here's the mechanism in plain English. Morning light reaching your retina, especially from outdoors, tells your body it's safe to start the day. Even if you don't feel awake yet, your circadian system is being retimed. This is why timing matters more than people expect. If you do it late, you don't get the same anchor effect because your clock is already farther along. And if you do it indoors under dim light, you're often just not getting enough effective brightness to really kick the melanopsin system into gear. So what's the actual 60-second protocol? Timing. Try to do it soon after you wake up, early enough that it feels like your first signal of the day. Don't wait until you're already wide awake or already running on caffeine. Distance. Get outdoors if you can. A window helps, but it's not the same. Light can be weaker, and angles and brightness drop fast indoors. Duration. Think about a steady, simple window where you're getting direct outdoor light on your eyes without squinting like you're in a storm. Around 60 seconds is the sweet spot a lot of people can stick to, and it's short enough that you won't turn it into a whole production. But here's where it gets weird. Season changes everything because the sun's angle, cloud cover, and daylight intensity shift day to day. In summer, you might get plenty of push with less effort. In winter, you may need more time outside to match what your eyes would get in brighter months. That doesn't mean you should grind for 10 minutes every day. It means you adjust your dose based on conditions. Same routine, just tuned. If it's overcast, snow bright, or the sun's low, your brain may need a longer look to get the clock reset signal you want. One more practical detail people miss. You're not trying to stare at the sun. You're letting normal outdoor daylight hit your eyes while you go about your morning. Quick walk, porch step, driveway light, whatever keeps you outside long enough. If you wear sunglasses, skip them for this part. Sunglasses can blunt the effect because they reduce the amount of bright light reaching your retina. Hold that thought, because the timing is only half the game. The other half is what you do with light later in the day, because morning helps, but evening light can totally mess with what you just set in motion. Which one are you going to try first? Drop it below. If your brain like this, hit subscribe. More brain hacks every week. What to expect? Sleep, alertness, mood, and cognitive effects. Morning sunlight hits your retina in a really specific way. A special pigment called melanopsin, sitting in a subset of retinal ganglion cells. These cells send timing signals straight into your brain's circadian system, which is basically how your body clock gets its "okay, we're starting now" message. That's why this isn't just feels good light. It's a real biological cue. Here's what you should expect when you do it consistently. First up, sleep. When morning light lands on your eyes soon after you wake up, it helps shift your circadian rhythm earlier for many people, which tends to make falling asleep at night feel smoother and more natural. If you've been getting stuck scrolling in the evening and then wondering why your brain won't wind down, morning light can be the counter move that brings your timing back into alignment. But if you do morning light too late in the day, it can blunt that anchor effect, so timing matters more than the vibe. Now, alertness and cognitive effects. Morning light can help you feel more awake faster because it suppresses melatonin, the sleep hormone your body releases when it thinks it's nighttime. That suppression helps your brain kick off the day without as much fog. You'll often notice it as better attention, easier wakefulness, and fewer, not ready yet moments during the first part of your day. It's not magic focus gel though. Think of it like setting the stage so your attention system is more cooperative. You do the rest: food, movement, tasks you actually care about. Mood is the sneaky one. Bright morning light has a well-known relationship with seasonal mood, and it's part of why light therapy can help with conditions like seasonal affective disorder. For most people without that diagnosis, the effect can still show up as steadier mood and less irritability early on, because your sleep-wake timing gets aligned and your brain chemistry stops getting yanked around. Real talk, if your internal clock is off, your mood can look random, but it's often timing. Fix the timing, and you give your mood a fair shot. Okay, practique el takewa, no fluff. Use outdoor light when you can, not indoor light. Sit or stand so daylight hits your eyes. You don't need to stare into the sun, just get the brightness on your face. How many minutes you need by season is the part nobody nails perfectly, because cloud cover, latitude, window tint, and even the sun's angle matter. In general, think shorter on bright, clear days and longer in winter or overcast weather. If your skin feels like it's getting sun but your eyes are just catching daylight, you're probably in the right neighborhood. And if your mornings are dim because of weather, don't power through with indoor darkness. Move outside for as much of that window as you realistically can. But here's the part nobody talks about. The biggest improvement usually comes from consistency, not intensity. Your brain loves predictable cues. So pick a morning moment you can protect, like right after you're up, before you do the heavy screen stuff, and make it a daily anchor. Then watch what happens over a couple weeks to your sleep onset, morning alertness, and that first on track feeling. Which one are you going to try first? Stepping outside for your melanopsin hit right after waking, or adjusting your timing so it's earlier in the day? Drop it below. If your brain like this, hit subscribe. More brain hacks every week. Troubleshooting and special cases. Weather, glasses, night shift, eye safety. Morning sunlight isn't just nice for your mood. It's one of the strongest cues your circadian system has, because specialized retinal cells with melanopsin respond to light and help set your daily rhythm. That's the behind-the-scenes wiring. Your brain uses it like a master calendar for when to ramp up alertness and when to downshift at night. And this matters for more than sleep. daytime focus, energy, and even how your body handles appetite and stress. Sound familiar? Now, let's talk troubleshooting, because real life throws curveballs. Weather is the big one. Cloudy mornings still help, but they can be weaker since less bright light reaches your eyes. If the sky's gray and it feels dim, you can still do the habit. Just don't treat going outside as a win if you're standing in shade. Try to get as much light as you can. Face the open sky when possible. Choose a spot with less obstruction and keep your eyes uncovered. On rainy or stormy days, the goal shifts to bright outdoor light rather than direct sunbeam. Indoors near a window can help some, but if you can't get outdoors, go as close to the brightest source as possible and stay consistent. Glasses are another special case that people mess up. If you wear sunglasses indoors, stop. Those reduce light dramatically. But regular prescription lenses? Usually fine. The key question is tint and coatings. Dark lenses or heavy blue light blocking can blunt the light cue you're trying to send to melanopsin-containing cells. If your glasses are tinted for glare, consider taking them off outdoors briefly if it's safe to do so, or use lighter indoor-appropriate lenses. Also, keep expectations realistic. No lens setup gives you zero risk, zero effort perfection. The goal is to deliver meaningful brightness to your eyes early in the day, not to win a science fair. Catch is, if you can't change the glasses, you compensate by choosing brighter conditions. Night shift is where it gets spicy. Your circadian clock follows timing cues, and morning sunlight is designed to anchor your biological day. For night shift workers, the trick is to treat your end of sleep like the morning and your evening like nighttime. You want bright light after you wake up, so your clock updates to that schedule. Then you want darkness later to prevent a confusing mixed signal. Andrew Huberman talks about this kind of light timing a lot. Your goal is alignment, not rigid clock time. The mechanism is simple. Melanopsin-driven pathways adapt to when light shows up, and your body responds accordingly. But here's the part nobody talks about. Night shift also increases the need for eye safety and smart exposure. Don't stare at the sun, ever. If you're doing morning light, keep it at safe brightness exposure, not direct eyeballing of the sun like you're testing a light bulb. If you're in very intense conditions, a brimmed hat or a slight angle can help you stay comfortable while still getting strong ambient light. And if you have eye conditions like sensitivity to light, retinal disease, or you're under an eye specialist restrictions, follow your clinician's guidance first. Safety matters because your eyes aren't a place to experiment. Bottom line, weather, glasses, and shift schedules all change how much light reaches your melanopsin pathway. So you adjust the strategy, not the habit. Pick the brightest outdoor moment you can tolerate early in your routine. Keep the eyes uncovered when it's safe. Aim for consistency more than perfection. Then let your body do the rhythm work. But what do you think you'll get stuck first? Cloudy mornings, your lens tint, or night shift timing? Which one are you going to try first? Drop it below. If your brain liked this, hit subscribe. More brain hacks every week. Okay, so here's the quick wrap. Morning sunlight is your circadian rhythm's start button. It hits your retina, and that melanopsin system basically tells your brain what time it is. That sets the tone for alertness later, mood regulation, and when your body wants to wind down. Here's the mechanism in plain English. That light signal goes from your eyes to the parts of your brain that manage your internal clock. Then your whole day gets more on rails instead of running fuzzy on autopilot. Ever feel like your mornings are wasted and your nights get weird? Yeah, light timing can be a big reason why. Now the practical takeaway for you today. Get outside soon after you wake up and let your eyes take in real outdoor brightness. How long? In summer, it could be shorter. In winter, you'll usually need more time to get the same effect because the sun's lower and the light's weaker. If you can't get a full session, do what you can consistently. Consistency beats perfection every time. But here's the part nobody talks about. It's not just morning light. It's also the contrast. Morning light helps anchor your clock, and too much late-day bright light can nudge it in the wrong direction. Your future self will feel that. So tell me, are you the grab 10 minutes outside no matter what type, or the first I'm going to dial it in by season type? Which one are you going to try first? Drop it below. If your brain like this, hit subscribe. More brain hacks every week. Next up, we're going to connect this to evening wind down and what light to avoid so your sleep actually follows your schedule.